Fish Momentum says Deshaun suspended 8 games and $5 million.
Yeah,
I don't think that's confirmed yet, but there's rumors about it.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, Deshaun recently, because they're trying to make a settlement now, reached out, or somebody from his party communicated to media and apparently to the NFL's parties that he would be willing to accept an 8-game suspension and pay a $5 million fine, because right now, as it currently sits, he only has to do a 6-game suspension and have a $0 fine. Obviously, we know the NFL is trying to, or they're in the process of rehearing the ruling that was made from their first judge they appointed for to see Deshaun's case and stuff like that, and they're still trying to seek an indefinite suspension or a season-long suspension at minimum. But from the reports that I've seen, apparently the NFL at some point in time before the first ruling came out with that Sue Robinson chick or whatever, this was something that the NFL had tried to offer to him or communicate to him, and they did not want any parts of it. Now, that could just be hearsay and stuff like that, but from, some of the reports, some of the media outlets that I've seen, that is what they were saying. I don't know a lot about that pre-offer stuff, but that is, what's coming from Deshaun's camp right now. And I did notice that people, kind of like, how can he dictate, or how can he be the one offering the length of the suspension? Well, you have to remember, he's already went through this process and already has came out victorious. If the NFL loses again, he would still only be mandatory 6-game suspension, 0-game fine. So for him, he's trying to find that compromise of, I want to play this season. I want to put all this behind me. The NFL, obviously, they want him to be disciplined a little bit more than what he currently has been. So they're trying to find that common ground. But to me, this is a part of that process, man. When you're talking about settling and trying to get this type of stuff to go away completely, this type of stuff starts to come out. But yeah, man, it was interesting, though, to see that Deshaun's side went to the public with that, though, man, letting that information get out there. So we shall see, man, how that thing continues to go, man. We'll keep our eyes on it. But he is playing tonight.
Yeah.
Start, actually. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
How about this angle on it?
Mm-hmm.
Browns to consider Jimmy G if Deshaun Watson's suspension increases.
Okay.
So if it goes up to 8 games.
I don't think for the 8-game part of it. I think when they're speaking on probably like that length, like a year long.
12 to a year.
Yeah, I think that's when you start talking about that, because for them, they still have a really complete roster, and they think that they're ready to compete and, make a run for a ring this year. So if they feel like they're just a quarterback away, hence the reason why they went after Deshaun, if Deshaun's not going to be there for this season or a large majority of the season, it could make sense to try to find a way to do something like that with Jimmy G. I just don't know how you make that money, and all that type of stuff work without San Fran just doing a hard cut of him, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, especially with them still owing a portion of Baker's money, and they have all these.
They're not doing all that.
Amari Cooper on the roster now, too.
Even though Deshaun is suspended, that money is still going. You know what I mean? It's just going from his pocket to the NFL's pocket. That's it. But, yeah, that's a lot of money coming out of there, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could be awkward if they brought in Jimmy G and then they went like 6-2 or something like that. This first 8 games.
But that's what Jimmy does. When has Jimmy not looked good? When has Jimmy not had winning teams? That's what Jimmy does. Whether it was New England, when he's healthy in San Fran, you see his track record, man. He's a winner.
Yeah, that'd be a weird scenario. 8 games. Yeah, that would be the most interesting if they got him for the 8 games, because it bumped up too. Because
but it doesn't make sense to do it for 8 though, man.
You don't think?
Nah. Not when you got that much money invested in Deshaun and you would know for a fact after that 8 game, you're not worried about this suspension ever again for the next 5 years and with $244 million guaranteed. Because remember, he's only going to be, in terms of when he's being suspended, the money he's only losing out is $1 million base salary. That's why they set up the contract the way that they did, because they were anticipating him being suspended at some point in time this first year. So the signing bonus was like 44 or 43 million, $1 million base salary. So however many games he misses, only coming out that $1 million. So that's why he's saying, I'll even pay that $5 million fine to kind of like smooth it over if you got to go and increase these 2 games. But for him, nothing longer than this season, because all you're losing out on is that $1 million, right?
Yeah, I'd be assuming they would sign Jimmy G just for the 1-year deal. I'd be interested if Jimmy G would do that.
After that, he's getting 40, 44 and all that. And remember, it's fully guaranteed. Yeah. So you're going to be paying that money regardless.
Because Jimmy G's contract already as is only a 1-year deal left. I wonder if for him, because where else is he going to start right now?
Well, I'm not sure. You also have
I
to
wonder
remember
if
he had
that'd be an
surgery
opportunity
too.
he'd actually be interested in. Just going
Right.
in for 8 games and saying like, hey man, who knows what happens after the 8 games? If we somehow do have a really good record, do they just keep rolling with me?
Right.
That'd be a really funny situation. Actually, it wouldn't be a funny situation
I was thinking the
because
same thing.
that means the Browns actually have a good record. I wouldn't be happy about that.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, bro, you realize what you're saying right now? And we played him in that
That would
first
not be
little
good.
spin. Yeah.
No, that would not be good.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will.